You are now listening to the fastest show on IE Sports Radio. My name is Darryl Kinsey Jr. Welcoming you to another lap of Extra Mile for today, February 24th, 2025. And NASCAR is finally starting their real season after wrapping up in Atlanta. IndyCar starts in St. Pete, while Ferrari and the World Endurance Championships gets their season started in the Middle East. And help me talk about all of this, of course, my co-host, Jenn B, Christopher Lehman, Michael Ward. Hello, everybody.
Howdy, howdy.
Hello.
Everyone, good afternoon. Good night.
The gang's all here. Hey, sit tight. We're going to pay some bills, and we're going to get the show started just after this. Thank you for everybody that's listening either live on YouTube or on the re-air. Thank you so much for making the Extra Mile your premier show for all that is motorsports. We'll be right back here on All That Is Sports, IE Sports Radio. Sit tight.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey there, sports fans. Are you looking for a sports show that maybe isn't 100% about sports?
Then you might want to check out the Sports Couple Perspectives right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Most sports shows cover only scores and stats, and while we're not opposed to that, we dig a little deeper into sports issues and some of the hottest topics in athletics.
In addition to sports, we take a journey through my neck of the woods, pop culture, with movie reviews of both sports and non-sports films.
Speaking of pop culture, make sure to participate in our game nights, where we quiz each other on our specialties, and you, the listeners, can win IE Sports Radio apparel.
We always have a great time learning more about each other's worlds, one show at a time.
So join us each week on the Sports Couple Perspectives, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And we're back here in the Extra Mile on IE Sports Radio, your feed for all that is sports. The gang's all here, and we're ready to talk Atlanta and everything that went down in NASCAR this weekend, and which was another great race, probably the best super speedway race in quite a while. And then the finish happened, and I think Larry B, who's in the chat, has the best thought of all about that.
Yep. Sums it up for me.
Yep. And I think we can start right there in our list tonight, as NASCAR seems to have a struggle when it comes to when to throw or when not to throw the caution on the last lap, which is about the worst place you can be in for a sports organization where you don't race back to the yellow, which is most of them at this point. And I start off with this, where anytime NASCAR has to be in the position where there's a wreck on the last lap, I feel like any decision they make is the wrong one to a lot of people. because if they don't throw the caution, well, you're not thinking about driver safety. You need to throw the yellow there. If they do throw the caution, then it's ruining an epic finish, and NASCAR doesn't know what it's doing. And then people found out that the Cup Series race director for this year is black, so then we had to hear DEI hire, and we're not even going to get into that part of the argument. You're a freaking idiot. That's what I have to say about that. That's my censored version of that short little rant. And I will say that at the end of this race, the Am Better Health 400, I think it was the right call. I really do. The wreck is in the middle of the field. You still got a lot of cars coming through there very fast. You've got to throw the yellow in that situation, especially when you threw it in the Xfinity race the day before.
Consistency.
Yep. And I think what hurt them the worst was last week on Thursday, that second dual race where they're like 100 feet from the line and they throw the caution for the wreck. I think in that situation, you just let it play out because they're that close to the line anyway when the wreck starts. Just let the leaders cross, then throw the yellow. They've done that before, but it's a situation where if you're NASCAR, you don't want to be in this spot because every decision you make is going to be the wrong one because you should have did the opposite of what you did.
It's true.
Yeah.
But it brings up the question, and I mentioned this briefly on Blue Sky yesterday before I kind of backtracked on my thought once I saw the replay. Should we bring back race back to the line if it's caution?
No.
Why, Michael?
I just feel like it's a safety concern. It's just when you have a big wreck and a bunch of guys are still trying to race back to the line, you know, I think that just causes a safety concern. And I just feel like having this rule where you race back to the line, everybody's just going to say, well, screw safety. And then, you know, it can pose the potential for, you know, a serious accident. So I don't know. Part of me feels like it should be dependent on where the wreck is. But another part of me is just like it's for safety. You don't want an accident. You don't want a serious accident. So I say keep it the way it is, but it's really hard to say.
I kind of have an idea that as Michael was talking, I just kind of thought about, and maybe somebody else has already proposed this. I'm sure somebody on Twitter has. But what about when you're talking about these last lap cautions? What if you said to the field, right? You put it out there and you said, everybody behind the wreck, your position is locked. Everybody in front of the wreck, you guys race to the finish.
I'm going to stop you right there. I can already see someone trying to drive through the smoke coal to get in front of the wreck before NASCAR decides to hit the button.
Yeah.
Oh, without a doubt.
I can already tell you that you're going to have some wrecks that make ARCA look sane. And I think I reference this every time we talk about ARCA. I'm going to reference it until the day this show ends. Do you remember the 2005 Daytona 200 with ARCA where the wreck started in turn 2 and ended in turn 3? That's what you're going to see.
Well, Darryl, as a 12-year-old, no, I don't remember that.
We're like 3 years apart. It's 15.
I would say there's a lot of development that happens between the ages of 12 and 15.
I'm going to put my hands up, Darryl. I'm not going to lie. I didn't know ARCA was a thing back then.
Okay, you have an excuse. You were much younger than 12. Yeah, Jen, I'll throw it to you. How do we balance safety and getting the green flag finish? Because I feel like NASCAR's just in the wrong no matter what they do on this situation.
Yes, I honestly don't think there's not a good answer that's going to satisfy everybody. I mean, because if you start doing the extra laps to try and get it in, then people are going to complain about that, and then you're going to have more wrecks, and there's no real good answer for it, because somebody is going to be upset no matter which way you do it. And the second somebody gets injured or there's a massive crash because they didn't throw the caution, everything's going to blow up.
Well, some folks have said go back to how ARCA does it, where even if there's a caution on the last lap, you do the whole green white checker again.
Mm-hmm.
And I say I think that is the dumbest rule ARCA has. Mainly because, have you seen an ARCA race lately?
Yes.
Unlimited overtime.
Yeah.
6 hours of racing.
I think I just
6 hours
don't
at the
see. I don't like the idea of the unlimited overtimes. Eventually, you just got to say, look, we're not going to get to this finish green and just end it.
And then imagine like people who are like close on fuel running out of fuel because we keep going to overtime.
Well, there's that too. You completely throw away the strategy unless you're Joey Logano, apparently, at Kansas. I think that was last year no, that was Nashville, where I swear that fuel tank was not legal.
I mean, that's just that good old Ford efficiency. You know what I mean?
It must be, because he should have ran out of gas. But it's tough to
it's really
be in that
tough.
Situation.
It's really tough because I'm sorry to cut you off. It's like no matter what decision you make, like you said, it's the wrong decision. Somebody's going to see it as the wrong decision. You throw the caution out, people are going to hate you. You keep the green flag off, you keep the green flags out, somebody's going to say you're breaking safety hazards. It's just, I think at this point, it's like you're just going to have to admit, like, you're going to make someone upset.
Right?
Yeah.
And like Chris said in the beginning, if you're not going to please everybody, just stay consistent.
But the problem is sometimes it can be, I'm not going to lie, really inconsistent.
Yeah, we're talking about NASCAR and consistency here.
Like, if it was consistent, I wouldn't be mad, but it can be very, very inconsistent.
Well, what is consistent is Carson Hocevar becoming the next Ross Chastain. I don't know if you guys saw at the end of that race, but there was a pretty good line of drivers there to talk to him after the race. Kyle Busch was pissed with him on the radio. Ryan Blaney was pissed with him after getting spun. And Hocevar, for his sake, he said, look, I'm not out here to make friends. All I can do is apologize and keep pushing. And look, he was the bright spot for Spire yesterday, a team that we all wrote off a few years ago, and now they're becoming one of the better midfield teams in NASCAR.
He almost won that race.
And I thought he was going to take out the greatest driver in the world.
The greatest driver in the world can't win a super speedway race.
Yeah, well, he keeps getting ranked in super speedway races, although it was his fault this time. Took his own teammate out. But when it comes to Hocevar, it feels like we have another Ross Chastain situation. And what I will say is I hope he doesn't get the fire taken out of him like Ross Chastain did. Because love him or hate him, drivers like Chastain pre the Rick Hendrick call and now Carson Hocevar, they make the racing fun because they're aggressive and they don't care if they take your favorite driver out.
Well, I care if they take my favorite driver out. But
Well, of course I'm going to care.
I also care.
I care if they take my favorite driver out.
But if they take out Austin Dillon, great.
Oh yeah, I will throw a barbecue for an Austin Dillon retirement.
He'll get plus 100,000 fans like Chase for the Cup if he does that.
Oh my god,
Big time.
You guys remember the Chase for the Cup minigame? We had to sign autographs.
I hated that mini game.
Oh man.
You know what? At least like back then, like with video games, especially like career modes, they were like way more in depth.
They really were.
Well, I'm hoping the new game, that's coming out, NASCAR 25, gets back to that. It looks like it might, but we'll see when it comes out.
I hate the way like NASCAR games have consistently got worse after like, I don't know, 2007-ish. They just dropped off a cliff.
The last NASCAR game I played
2008, and the reason
drafty
I say
cars where it's at.
2008
Yeah.
is because the next gen NASCAR game was god awful. However, the one that was still on PlayStation 2, that was still good.
I remember playing the last one I played that was good was Total Team Control. I didn't play 07 for
Total
whatever
Team
reason.
Control was fun.
I
Total
think
Team
I
Control was fun.
I think 07 was where I like really got into it.
That's because 07 was serious. I mean, they had Breaking Benjamin.
Yes. But anyway, we're kind of getting away from
We're kind
the
of getting
point.
getting really off topic.
Well, all we have to talk about is NASCAR, a little Formula One, little IndyCar. We've got dead air time. We can talk about
good point.
games.
So we got hosts of our, well, back to hosts of our, speaking of video games, I think hosts of our would have the Intimidator button down at this point.
Speaking of video games, Helldivers 2.
Yes.
I've never played it. I just know that all the kids talk about it.
It's not bad.
People still talk about it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually was on like my PlayStation last night and I saw 4 people on my friends list playing Rocket League. I didn't even know people still played Rocket League.
People will play Rocket League till the end of time.
Did anyone play the NASCAR tie-in with that when it came out?
No, I played Rocket League one time. It sucked and I never played it again.
I've never played it, to be honest with you.
What I should say is it didn't suck. I sucked and I never played it again.
You want to know what
has
game
a
I
very
sucked
high
at?
skill curve.
iRacing. I don't think I've told you the time where I used the racing wheel for the first time and I took the trucks, like the old 2000-ish trucks.
Yeah.
On the I think it was Charlotte. I was so bad. Like, I don't know, like the car, like the truck moved around so much, and it's like if I oversteer too much, I'm gonna spin out. So it was just me trying to like keep the truck under control, and I'm like, how do these people do this?
It's very difficult. But speaking of spinning out, host of our, he's already got a couple of folks to his name of people that he's pissed off. Who do you think is going to be the first one to clean him out? Because I think it's going to be Kyle Busch.
I was gonna say Kyle Busch.
The thing is, like, here's the thing: is everybody who's not a rookie or a second year or a third year driver has been in Hocevar's exact shoes.
Yep.
So the fact that all these drivers get pissed off at the young guys for being young and aggressive, I think that says more about the older guys. Like there's this like kind of like quote, and I don't exactly know who to attribute it to, but basically like, you know, young men or, you know, young people, I shouldn't say men, but like young people are invincible and they think they're all that because they don't have the experience of life. But old people shouldn't look back negatively or, you know, look at these kids negatively because they have forgotten what it's like to be young.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, you know, when I hear that, I'm pretty sure it was actually Albus Dumbledore that said that. Yeah. But, I mean, it's the same principle though, right? These guys were all young drivers, aggressive, made some boneheaded moves.
How many guys did Kyle Busch take out?
Yeah.
A lot.
Kyle Busch ruined a truck championship.
Yeah. runs in the
Like,
family.
he canonically took Ron Hornaday out of his last championship.
So it just like goes to speak to these older guys. Like, it's a learning experience. You all made a dumb move. Get over it, right? It's the second race of the season. It's not the playoffs. It's not 3 races to the playoffs and you're looking like you're going to win your way in. You know, it's the second race of the season. Jesus, just take a deep breath. You got a lot of season left.
Also, let's not lie. These veterans act like they don't humble the younger drivers. Eventually, at some point, if he keeps doing the way he's doing, driving the way he's driving, somebody will humble him. I'm just saying. This is a sport about getting humbled on track, so somebody's gonna humble him.
I think Hocevar doesn't clean it up. I think he's going to end up doing his best Ryan Preece impression and going skyward, unfortunately, because I think somebody's going to turn him.
Hopefully,
and yet again,
not a right hook.
I hope not. But yet again, in an Atlanta race or a super speedway race, which I find so hilarious, Ford qualifies great. And then we get to the race, none of them survive to the end. As once again, there's only one Ford in the top 10, and that was Ryan Blaney, who got spun by Carson Hocevar, but then raced his way back up because you could actually make the moves at Atlanta this weekend, and he ends up in the 4th spot. Christopher Bell ends up picking up the win over Carson Hocevar and Kyle Larson. In the Truck and Xfinity Series races, well, stop me if you heard this one before in Xfinity. Austin Hill wins on a super speedway, takes the win in the Bennett Transportation and Logistics 250. In the Freight 208, stop me if you heard this one before as well. Kyle Busch wins at Atlanta.
Holy shit, Kyle Busch won a race?
Well, at least in the Truck Series, we know he can still win.
Oh, shoot. I forgot. $30,000 fine. Darn it.
I think it's a suspension now.
All right. Well, I'll see you guys after next week.
Well, we'll be right back, probably sans Michael. And when we get back, IndyCar gets ready to roll this weekend in St. Petersburg. The WEC is getting ready to race in Le Mans, and get ready for the Formula One overreacting because preseason testing is about to begin. Talk about all of that on the other side of this break here on the Extra Mile on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Get your sandbags ready.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Stamps for your invitations, letters, the deal _wax stamp.
Hi, eSports Radio fans. This show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Apologize for those technical difficulties on one of the ads there, but we're back here in the Extra Mile on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. The gang is all here, and we're going to get right back into it. We've got IndyCar coming up this weekend. Oop, that's the wrong button. It's time to go racing once again in St. Petersburg.
Okay, we're excited.
Time to go racing again. Fox is going to be jumping into the advertising of, or not advertising, but showing Formula One for the first time. Or Formula One, Jesus Christ, slow down, Darryl. IndyCar for the first time this season when they start in St. Petersburg. Will Buxton will be on the play-by-play. Townsend Bell and James commentators. What are we looking for in the view of Fox's IndyCar broadcast?
I really hope that Will Buxton does some Drive to Survive type stuff, like the pole sitter is the person who starts first. They're at the front of the grid. That means they lead the pack. I really hope he does something really dumb like that to lead off, just like as a nod to Drive to Survive. I would
I'm going to defend Will Buxton for how he does Drive to Survive. Like two people that are watching that show have ever watched a Formula One race before. So I get why he says it like that.
I'm not talking SHIT. I find it funny.
It's very funny. I think the one thing that's going to be hyper focused on are the commercials. I hope they're going to do the side by side and continue that on, because I think if IndyCar fans, after decades of having the side by side, have a full screen commercial during green, they're going to have a conniption fit, and I will too, because it's kind of ridiculous at this point. I don't think any motorsport should be having full screen commercials while the green's still out.
No, because then you come back and there's a caution and you have no idea why.
They're just talking about it.
Yes.
Yep.
And they don't replay it.
Team, they're out on the track right now getting things cleaned up. We'll get you that replay in a minute.
I will say that I will applaud Fox for this. They've done more marketing for the top drivers in this sport than IndyCar has done in years. And I hope this all pays off for something positive as far as viewership.
Oh, yeah. They were all over the Super Bowl with those provocative commercials.
Yeah.
It's like, my wife's watching this. Let's tone these down a little bit.
My favorite one is always going to be Joseph Newgarden, and it starts out with Newgarden as a sperm.
No, that one was
I love that one. I'm sorry.
Joseph Newgarden started out a winner.
It all makes me laugh.
Technically, if you've been born, everybody's a winner.
Yep.
You won your first race.
Awesome.
Everyone had to win their first race to be here.
I'm a winner.
There's no good segue out of that, so we're just going to continue.
So, Bubba Wallace.
You too, viewer, are a winner.
St. Pete is coming up. Thankfully, Connor Daly will have his ride on Sunday, but this is going to be the title defense for Alex Palou, and who is going to step up to take on the defending champion at St. Pete? He's on a hot streak. Whatever special stuff that Scott Dixon has is apparently passed down to Alex Palou. He did not complete the lawsuit Infinity Gauntlet last year, so we're good. We're good on that. So the streak of winning the championship and then getting a contract lawsuit ends at 2. But Palou going into this season, the prohibitive favorite, and you've also got Pato O'Ward and Colton Herta. Will they be distracted? Because both of them have F1 connections going into this season. There's going to be a certain team looking to find their next American racing driver to run in IndyCar. I mean, run in Formula One, even though Pato is Mexican. The North American connection with Cadillac makes it interesting to see where's it going to go, because unfortunately for Pato, getting a McLaren F1, it's not there, but Cadillac F1, Cadillac Andretti starts next season. If he can get the super license points this year, it's going to be interesting to see what those two drivers do and to see if they can stay focused on winning the championship and getting those points that they need to get that license. Which actually is, if I think about it, Colton Herta is close to getting his FP1 license. Or he either is close to getting it or has it. So all he needs is a team to put him in for the 4 FP1 sessions. It'll get his full license.
Sorry, I've been muted. I've been trying to rebut or talk to you, Darryl, but apparently I was muted. I think Herta has it. I think he has enough points.
Yes.
Because where did he win last year? He picked up a win at the end of the year, right?
I think so, yeah.
Because wherever he won, it gave him the oval win that he needed, and it gave him, was it Iowa?
I think it was, and he ended up second in points last year.
Yeah, whatever. So one of the races, I think it was an oval, he had to get a win or like a top 3 in or something like that to get points, and I think he ended up getting it, and so he has the points for a super license. Yeah,
he just got it hit. He needs the FP1 runs now, so they got to find somebody that's going to give him the runs in free practice 1 at some point this season. He's got to do it 4 times to get the full license at this point.
I think it'll be like a Ferrari-based team because of the Cadillac connection.
I mean, there's always Haas.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, the Ferrari connection.
Yeah. Will be interesting to see if he can get that one.
Oh, sorry. My
Chris
apologies.
has a question. Chris, I think, has a question for all of us.
No, I didn't mean for that to. I did not mean for that to come through. I'm trying to figure out how to unclick this. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, guys. Real question for the 2025 season. We've all been waiting for it.
I'm scared. Jen Holton.
I'm going to say yes.
How many drivers does McLaren sign to a contract in 2025? Wow. The answer is yes.
I think we're on 2 consecutive seasons now, right?
Yeah.
Will it be a 3rd?
I hope for their sake it's not.
It will be.
You never have too many drivers, right, guys?
Well, I don't know. It's between Red Bull cussing their drivers out and saying they're not good, and then it's McLaren signing their drivers and then breaching contract.
Well, they
I
don't know which one is worse.
Anymore.
Red Bull signing drivers and criticizing all but one of them.
Yeah.
Apparently, Aston Martin came out and was like, no, that rumor this offseason that we offered Max $1 billion deal was false.
That sounded like a false deal.
Yep.
I think they got
especially
no choice, but with Alonso and Stroll, unfortunately.
Yeah, I can't picture Lawrence Stroll paying Max $1 billion to make his son look like even more of a chump than he already looks like.
Yeah,
Wow.
unless Jesus, tell me how
Sorry.
you really feel.
All right, we already. All right.
Well, we got
New
24
year,
minutes. I can get going.
New year, It's a new year. We already got a new Chris Burn. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if Stroll wants a series that he can be exceedingly mid in, he can come run IndyCar next year.
Or he can just do WIT and get carried by 2 other drivers.
I don't even know if he'd handle it over there.
Just do maybe a 2-hour stint.
Well, while we're on the subject of controversies, let's hope that Penske has their push to pass button set right this time, so we don't have that again. Because that kind of sunk Joseph Newgarden's season. And he had a really good year, and he had nothing to show for it. Well, can't say nothing to show for it. He won the Indy 500 in back-to-back years, but the championship, he had nothing to show for it.
I hate milk.
That was so random. I hate milk.
I do.
I mean, if I won the Daytona, Lord have mercy, what is going on with me today? If I won the Indy 500, I would stomach it for a day.
I wouldn't. Nope. Even if I was on the TV show Survivor and I won a glass of milk for a reward, I'd be like, nah, dog, you can keep that.
What if it's like oat milk or like almond milk?
No, milk is nasty.
Wait, so like now you guys got me thinking, like, what if you win the Indy 500 but the driver's like lactose intolerant, like really bad?
Shit their brains out later.
Do they have to drink the milk?
I wouldn't.
Well, we did have one driver drink orange juice instead, and that was a mild controversy.
Oh yeah, give me like extra pulp orange juice. I'd do that all day.
I am not a pulp in the orange juice guy.
Oh, I want to chew my orange juice.
Just eat an orange then.
They don't even. Right? They used to have the Tropicana Grove stand in the gallons at our Wegmans, and they do not carry that anymore. I think I was their only buyer.
Well, I'm sure when they go to Thermal Club for race 2, they'll have all the extra pulp orange juice they can ask for, which I don't know why this race is a thing. Just give us an oval, please. And give us a race in the Northeast for IndyCar. Why is like the biggest
Watkins Glen?
Why is your biggest population center like completely empty? Like someone posted, and I wish I'd saved it for today. The map on it's been around for a while of where the IndyCar races are, and they're all in the Midwest. There's a couple on the West Coast, and nothing else everywhere else.
Yeah, it sucks.
Watkins Glen, Sebring.
We do. And the crazy thing is Watkins Glen, every race there they have is always packed. Like the Salem 6 hours at the Glen, packed. Even our vintage races, packed. It's wild. Watkins Glen is an untapped market for a lot of racing series because we don't have anything else around here.
It is a very secluded town. I've looked it up.
Just the whole Northeast. I feel like we get the shaft when it comes to some stuff. Indy or Formula One at Watkins Glen would be great.
I found the map. Give me a second.
Is the track even good enough for Formula One cars?
It's the best track in the country.
Watkins
Glen.
Watkins Glen would be great, but they would make them ruin it with all the extra runoff.
Yeah, probably.
This right here is the map I'm talking about. This is your map of IndyCar tracks.
Yeah, see, that sucks. I get like they want to be around
like
Indianapolis.
All Midwest and like someone,
Yeah, you got Canadian Tire. That's the Like the closest they get.
Yep. I mean, closest race to me would be Ohio.
California.
But I don't want to go to Mid-Ohio.
Portland.
What about Virginia International Raceway?
Like, why don't they go to COTA?
COTA would be
They
cool.
went to COTA. I don't know why all of a sudden they like fell out with COTA.
Yeah, VIR would be pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay, I just read the post that someone made under there about where IndyCar needs to race. He put Talladega as one of the races.
Oh, you just want them to
Dega.
die. Oh, you just want them to die.
You just want to kill. You just want to see somebody get killed, bro. You are not going to run IndyCar at Talladega.
No.
I don't think open wheel cars should be on a super speedway ever.
Though, hear me out. Daytona road course.
Oh,
I could see the road course. They ran the. This was way back in the day. IndyCar actually ran on the oval at Daytona. It didn't go well.
We should do like how on TikTok they got those "Hear Me Out" videos. We should do one of those for like racing takes.
Oh, jeez. We listen and we don't judge.
We listen and we don't judge.
Oh, jeez. And then it just the wildest takes ever after one of those videos.
We should. Let's do it next week.
Ferrari should use Mercedes engines. Wait, what?
Next week, we listen and we don't judge. Motorsports. It can be anything.
So we're going to take one last break. When we come back, it's time to overreact about testing times again. And the WEC gets their season started in Qatar. We'll talk about that on the other side of this break here on the Extra Mile on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
I won't say it this time.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon. But it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clanking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
What the he got on the head?
Hey yo, what's good, Georgia? It's your boy ACS, and if you love sports from the Peach State as much as I do, then Georgia Sports Central is your one-stop destination for down south sports, courtesy of IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Are you a yellow jacket at heart, or do you bleed the red and black of the Bulldogs? Do you keep it true to Atlanta with Trae Young, Capella, and the boys? Do you rise up with the Dirty Birds on Sundays? Are you excited to see what the future holds for Michael Penix Jr., Bijan, and the rest of the Falcon squad? Do you live at 755 Battery Avenue? Do you rep for Albies, Acuna, and the rest of Braves country? If so, then let's get united every Wednesday for some Braves, Hawks, UGA, Georgia Tech, Atlanta Dream, Falcons, and more on Georgia Sports Central, only on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And we're back an extra mile here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. The gang's all here, and we're going to wrap up our final segment of the evening discussing the WEC and Formula One ready to go to work this weekend. We'll start with the WEC in Qatar, where the GT3s and hypercars will be ready to take to the Qatar 12 kilometers. Why is it such an awkward measurement? I have no idea. But last year, this was the race where the Peugeot, Michael, had a great run and ran out of gas on the final stage. So for a program that hasn't had much to sing for in the last couple of years, they have been strong here, and it could be a positive going into this weekend.
It definitely could be a positive. They looked really good last year. Just a shame they ran out of fuel during those last final laps. There are so many teams to look out for. Definitely, I think everybody's going to be looking at Aston Martin this race, seeing how they're going to go with that V12 engine. And I'm curious to see what Cadillac is going to do. They've been lacking these last couple of seasons, so I would definitely, now that they have the Hertz Team Yoda number 38, I definitely want to see them try to at least make some inroads. And is anybody going to be able to stop the two top teams, Toyota and Porsche, this year? I think that's going to be the really big question.
I think Ferrari, they're going to have to show what they've got, because the last couple of years they have been close to knocking off Toyota and Porsche, and just have not been there. On the other side, we've got Aston Martin starting up in their first season in the World Endurance Championship, looking to play spoiler. That car sounds really good. The question is, will it race really very good? However, these longer endurance races usually are not good to first-time cars, so I expect that Aston Martin could struggle. The big thing about that car as well, no hybrid on the Aston Martin hypercar, could be at a disadvantage compared to the rest of the field. We're going to find out really quick during practice on Thursday. This race is going to be on Friday because we're coming into Ramadan and the complexities of the Islamic calendar. Friday is basically their Sunday. So they will race this race at Friday at 5:30 in the morning. It will be quite a while for that race to run. So if you got time on your lunch break, you should be able to at least catch the end of that race. Testing as well for Formula One is going to be taking place in Bahrain this weekend, as the Global Motorsports World centers on the Middle East. Wednesday, the 26th, action gets started. They'll run through Friday, the 28th. And Jen, Chris, Michael, it's time to completely overreact over some time charts.
I just love sand, Darryl.
Yes.
I just really love sand. It's coarse and it gets everywhere. Shout out if you know where that line is from. But yeah, this is the year where we overreact to testing times, unless you're 2023 Red Bull.
Yeah. So who do we think is going to be the team that wins the championship at the end of preseason testing?
Penske. You know who I wish it was?
Red Bull.
Andretti.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah, I think we all do.
I think
Go ahead.
I think McLaren's going to have the most they need to prove. Ferrari, everyone's going to be overreacting to Lewis Hamilton's times. So that's going to be fun.
Whether they're good or bad, it's going to be an overreaction no matter what his time is.
Yeah, if it's bad, you're going to hear every third-rate Formula One driver get in front of a microphone and say how he's washed.
Yeah. And if he's good, it's going to be, well, he's in Ferrari. Of course he's good. Yeah. Did you watch the end of last season? Carlos Sainz won a race last year. Anybody can win in that car.
Yeah, so he's not going to get the credit. He's going to get all the blame, but none of the credit. I think Red Bull, though, serious on a serious
for
note.
you.
I think I'm the most curious about Red Bull.
Yeah. But Bahrain, don't take any what I hate about Bahrain is don't take anything seriously.
Yeah, you can't, but it's they're still the team because in my opinion they've had the most change.
Until Alpine can follow up their winning Bahrain with a win anywhere else, I'm not going to take preseason testing seriously.
Yeah, we have no idea what programs they're going to be running the next 3 days. I highly doubt anyone's going to be running for speed.
I think everybody's just going to be
Friday.
trying to do mileage, get some laps on the board. That's basically about it.
Yeah. It's going to be nice to see cars on the track. If you've got F1 TV, you can probably check out some of the testing. But other than that, there's not a lot to see here. I don't think you're going to get a good telling of who's going to be good and who's going to be bad. Now, if certain teams are well down the order, we can have that conversation. But
I think the only way you know if your team is good or not is qualifying at Australia. That is the only way you'll know.
Yeah. Qualifying one at Australia will be the first time we really see these cars at full song.
And that's where you know if Ferrari rebuilding 99% of their car will be worth it.
I got so I know you guys don't quite follow supercars the same way that I do, but what do you guys think about Cam Waters so far this season?
Cam is rocking it. I watched the first 2 races.
He is on a tear.
Did you see the ending of race 2?
Yeah, talk about photo finishes, man.
Yeah, if you missed this.
That was phenomenal. That was like 4 cars that finished within, I don't know, a tenth of a second of each other.
Yes.
Or is it? No, it was just the top 3. The top 3 finished like photo finish, basically the 3 of them. And then second. Like 4th and 5th were like right there with them too.
Yeah. Supercars is going to be a lot of fun this year. If you have the not the premium, but if you subscribe to their YouTube channel and you pay for the Supercars pass, you can watch the races. I usually watch them the day before because I just can't stay up till 1 a.m. to watch the supercar races. I just can't, unfortunately, but that's going to be must-see TV this year. And I think Cam is going to be the guy you're going to have to chase this year.
Yeah, exactly. He won the first 3 races. And it's been him, Will Brown, and I
think Brock Feeney's over there as well.
Feeney's picked up a top 3. Chaz has been up there too. Yeah, basically Cam, Chaz, Will Brown, they've been putting on a clinic.
Yeah, those are going to probably be – those are drivers you're going to have to watch as your odds-on favorites getting down to Adelaide in this run for the championship they're doing this year.
But you want to talk about a good series to get into? Like if you haven't really watched Supercars before or anything, like this season is like already looking phenomenal. Yeah. This is probably one of the best starts to a season that I've ever seen. And I've been watching for probably about 7-8 years now.
Yeah, and remember, you got Toyota coming next year. So
exactly.
Australian NASCAR looking real fun right now.
For me, it's better than NASCAR.
It has its positives. I will say that. I love the supercars.
Exactly.
So I think do they run all 3 of those races at night, or is it just the first 2? Because no, it used to be one race was on Saturday, one race was on Sunday, and then the first race of the weekend was at night. This year, I think the first 2 were at night. I don't know what they did for Sunday because they ran a race on Friday this year.
Sunday, I didn't watch. I didn't watch race 3, which
I didn't either. I need to look.
I'm
trying to find it.
I watched 1 and 2, which is what you also watched, but I did not watch race 3. Yeah. We'll have to report back. Start 4:05 p.m.
That was during the day then.
Yep.
Okay, so they ran the first one during the day or late afternoon.
Race 2, 7:30 start time. Race 1 was 7:50 start time.
Okay, so the supercars will be back in action at the Melbourne Super Sprint when Formula One starts their season, March 12th through the 16th. You will be able to watch all the supercars action on YouTube.
Yes.
So you'll just boot up F1 TV to watch all the F1 stuff, jump to YouTube to watch supercars, then back to F1 TV for more of the open wheel stuff during that weekend.
Yep. Absolutely. As a subscriber to both, NASCAR is missing a prime market for their own service.
Yes, NASCAR's got to figure out that streaming thing. I think we've said that the last couple of years now. They've got to figure out a standalone streaming thing.
I wish they just contract with F1 TV, say, build us NASCAR TV.
Well, the problem is they don't have enough practice anymore to make it worthwhile.
You'd still get people that would pay the equivalent of $5 a race to stream.
Well, if it's commercial free, I think you'd pick it up.
I would. And my thought for commercials too is you don't even have to have the commentators, right? Commentators want a break. It's a 4-hour race. Give them a break. Just show us the cars.
Yep.
And specifically, my thought was show us backmarker cars that you don't show. Show us, 28th place. It's dead air time. Show those guys, give their sponsors a little bit of TV time. I would pay the equivalent of probably like $3.50 to $5 a race for a commercial-free NASCAR app that had Xfinity trucks and maybe ARCA. That's what F1 TV does. F1 TV does it for, I think, like $3.48 per F1 weekend.
I'd watch it.
Me too.
So before we get out of here, it's really exciting news in the NASCAR front as far as finally getting that fourth manufacturer. And what's old is new again, because Dodge looks to be coming back in 2026 with a Cup program expected in 2027 and 2028. The rumor, though, the big juicy rumor that I've heard is they're not coming back with a V8 for the Dodge. It's going to be a V6.
Who, with Stuart Haas gone, who goes? Do you think Penske goes Dodge?
I could see Penske going. I could see Spire going. Remember, they're going to be throwing around a lot of money to find a charter team.
I was going to say, who is going to be their primary team?
I think they go with somebody new, so maybe Trackhouse will go.
I mean, there's a lot of Tier 3 Chevy teams that would love to jump up to Tier 1 and another manufacturer.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Is there... I already know the answer to the question before I ask, but for the sake of conversation, RCR?
No.
God, no. Only because I don't want to hate Dodge.
Yeah, right? Oh, man.
Look, when RCR are trying to do the fake, I'm trying to do the Kid Rock thing where I'm a good old boy. Dude, you own a winery. Sit down.
Yeah.
There ain't nothing redneck about you, dude. Just act. I hate when rich old people try to act like they're tough or they're from the streets. Dude, nobody's checking for you. Nobody cares. Just I could get on that for
just take
hours. Yeah, y'all know how I feel about that team by now, but
yeah,
it's gonna be interesting to see who Dodge picks up in the Truck Series and how they make that move into Xfinity and Cup. It's gonna be nice to have 4 manufacturers again, and I wonder if what's going on with Honda, if they'll show up as a 5th manufacturer.
I was about to say, what was going on with the Honda deal?
I think that's died out again. It kind of comes and goes with Honda coming into NASCAR, which is weird because their biggest rival in Toyota has been here for like 20 years, and I thought they'd have been here immediately.
My thought is Honda is already like the number 1 selling vehicle on the planet. What do they need this for? They're not going to sell more cars by joining NASCAR.
To beat Toyota.
they've already tapped their market.
Yeah, but they want to beat Toyota. It's their Ford versus Chevy.
Yeah.
So I can see that. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes, and we will keep track of it all year long. We're heading to this weekend, St. Petersburg for IndyCar, followed by NASCAR at Texas. You can watch both of those races on Fox. Basically, keep it on Fox all day because the IndyCar race will start at 12, and the NASCAR race will come up at 2:30. So just keep it on Fox all day long on Sunday. Also, you've got Formula One testing. You'll watch on F1 TV. As we mentioned, the 1812 kilometers of Qatar will be on Max. And the racing season is back, ladies and gentlemen. Next week, NHRA gets started in Gainesville. It's going to be nice to see the nitro burners back on the track. But we'll talk about all of that next week, because it's time to get out of here for now. For Jen, for Chris, for Michael, I'm Darryl. Thank you so much for listening to this edition of The Extra Mile, and we will see you at the next green flag. Good night, everybody.